refers to a state of responsibility generally pertaining to well-being of a person or possession. Now, I'm going to need a small amount of audience participation as I begin today. Can you please raise your hand if you've either had to take care of someone or been taken care of because of alcohol here at the College of Worcester? Did you know that this simple act of charity, this small act of generosity, can land you in legal trouble and litigation? What if something happened? What if they befell serious injury or even died while you were taking care of them? Their family could file legal action against you. Just to clarify, this means they would be suing you. After conducting interviews with campus medical personnel, security, first responders, and my personal experiences on this topic, today I'm here to talk to you about the actual alcohol policy here at the College of Worcester. In its current state, the alcohol policy discourages students from seeking professional medical attention when they are desperately ill from alcohol poisoning. This, therefore, leaves their friends, family, faculty, and the College of Worcester itself liable for lawsuits against itself because it's not providing a safe environment for students. First today, I'm going to talk about the problems with current student alcohol policy, and then I'm going to talk about my plan to address said problems. Lastly, I'm going to talk about what you can do on this campus to address the problem. The current alcohol policy at the College of Worcester does not promote a safe environment because it discourages students from seeking help from professional sources. At the College of Worcester, there are penalties for being taken to the Wellness Center by security. On April 20th, I conducted an online interview with Stephen Bleck, the head of security here at the college. In this interview, I asked him, why were there penalties for being taken to the Wellness Center by security? Shouldn't it just be trying to promote student health and well-being by getting them there in the first place? This he responded, the College of Worcester's official policy dictates a proactive rather than a reactive approach. This means we must actively be looking for students who have had too much to drink and then have them take preventative programming to discourage patterns of substance abuse. At the College of Worcester, students' their first offense for going to the Wellness Center gives them, because of security, not because of on their own accord, lands them a 30-minute meeting with a Wellness Center representative, a 2-hour class or online session dictated by the severity of the offense, as well as a $55 appointment with an alcohol dependency counselor, and you get to have a hearing with the dean's office and receive one of your 3 strikes. This protocol is repeated for every additional attempt you have until you get to 3 strikes. Once you're at 3 strikes, you are liable to have a judicial hearing and be expelled from the college if the judicial board sees fit. However, if you go to the Wellness Center on your own accord, you are not. The only thing you have to do as far as repercussions is have a 30-minute meeting with the representative of the Wellness Center. The current system has a very fatal flaw. Imagine this. It's Woo Wednesday, and you and some of your friends have had a little bit too much to drink. One of your friends begins to vomit and periodically pass out. You and the rest of your friends are left with 2 choices. You can, 1, try to take care of this individual as best as you can, or you can try to play a game of cat and mouse with security and try to get him to the Wellness Center scot-free. What I mean by scot-free is if you can get to the Wellness Center on your own accord, you are not punished. However, if you get to the Wellness Center and are caught by security, you incur all the penalties that I previously talked about. What this means is the majority of college students would rather not get their friends in trouble and try to take care of them by themselves, and this leaves those students open to liable lawsuits later in life. This also affects the college because it's not providing a safe environment for students. On April 18th, an interview with Scott Dingman, a first responder at the College of Worcester, and I asked what was the most disturbing thing he had seen here at the college while being a first responder. To this he responded by telling me a story. The story he started with involved him helping a girl throw up over a toilet, decided he needed to get some towels to help her clean herself up. In the 5 seconds he was gone to get towels, she passed out in the toilet bowl, and if he didn't come back, she would have drowned. This is just one of the many examples that I heard from first responders that I interviewed here at the college regarding lack of superior medical help for students who have been abused by or have drank too much alcohol. On April 25th, I had an email interview with another first responder, Ben Harris. I posed to him a very simple question. Of all the people that you help here at the college, how many of them actually want to go to the Wellness Center? In all the cases that he can remember, he can only think of one instance where someone actually wanted to go to the Wellness Center. First responders only have a very basic medical knowledge, said Officer Andrew Lehman of the first responders in an interview on April 22nd. However, most of us in this room have very little to no medical knowledge at all. Are we the ones that should be taking care of our fellow classmates in their time of need? Alcohol poisoning, drunken injury, and even death, any one of these can happen to any of your friends who's been ill from alcohol. Because you are taking care of them, you are now liable for all damages and all physical ailments that befall them. When I opened this speech, I asked how many of you have been taken care of or have taken care of someone due to alcohol. And I'm pretty sure all of you raised your hands. This issue directly affects you because anyone you have taken care of could in fact sue you for misuse or liability. If they got hurt or anything, they could sue you for it. If going to the Wellness Center had less severe consequences, students would be more inclined to take their friends there, reducing liability for all parties. Having no consequences is something that the college would never go for, however. They want us to learn a lesson from our mistakes and not be constantly going to the Wellness Center because of alcohol. But instead of making consequences so severe that students will not take their friends to the Wellness Center, I'm proposing a new system, one with multiplicative levels of severity. I'm proposing a system where the first time you go to the Wellness Center, the only thing you need to do is have a meeting with a Wellness Center personnel staff. The second time you go, you have to have a meeting with a staff member and do 1 hour of community service. See, as college students, we value two things primarily above all other things. It's our time and our money. And I feel hitting both of these things will help persuade college students to stop drinking excessively and going to the Wellness Center. As I said before, it's a multiplicative system. This means for your third offense, you now have to do another meeting and then 2 hours of community service. For your fourth offense, however, things start to get slightly more severe. You'd have to do 4 hours of community service as well as meet with a alcohol dependency counselor, which costs you up $55. For every offense after that, it doubles. The next offense would cost you $110. The next one would cost you $220, $440, etc. As you can see, it gets very expensive, and the community service hours would double as well. So as soon as you go over about 5 offenses per semester, which is pretty ridiculous anyways, you're probably in some serious trouble. This plan is not meant to help those who drink excessively. It's meant to actually convince them to stop. This plan is meant to help people at the College of Worcester who maybe drank more than they meant to one time or maybe twice, to not have such severe repercussions for that one time. At Colby College, a small liberal arts school like the College of Worcester, they had an incident where they had to send 55 students to the local hospital because of alcohol-related incidents. This caused a disaster scenario at the hospital, which, if you don't know, basically forces the hospital to shut down and refer patients to other local institutions. After this happened, they decided that they needed to make a serious change with their plan, their policy regarding alcohol. Their plan before used to be completely anonymous, and now it's a multiplicative plan like I have. Their first offense, basically nothing happens. Like with my plan, you have a 30-minute warning. Your second one, you have to pay a small fine. Third one, you pay a larger fine. Fourth one, you actually have a judicial. You don't have a judicial hearing, but you have a meeting with the dean's office, and it gets steadily more progressive as you go. You might be asking yourself, though, are these punishments too severe compared to getting strikes against your name? Well, I would disagree. I would say having to do even 20 hours of community service is nothing compared to getting kicked out of Worcester. Or what do you think drinking would become more out of control on campus if this plan went through? Honestly, I would have to say I think drinking would the amount of drinking on campus would stay the same. The thing that would change, however, would be the liability and safety to students on campus. If the College of Worcester followed my plan, we would have a safer environment for students, and the college would be less liable regarding student safety, and the individual student might not be sued for helping his friends in a tight situation. You may be asking, what can I do about this problem on campus? Well, I have a petition here to sign, and if you sign it, you are basically saying you would like to see change in the current policy. With College of Worcester's current alcohol policy, students as well as the college are at risk of legal prosecution if this topic is not changed. The current plan leaves us vulnerable to liability, and it must be changed, and I think this is a good way to change it. Any questions? Yes?
First of all, I very much agree with your idea, but you keep citing liability, and specifically with students suing other students over alcohol-related instances. Where did you get that information that it's such a big deal?
I was asked if suing other students is a big deal on campus. As of today, it's not a big deal, but what I'm referring to is the possible risk that it could happen, and the risk that it could happen is an unacceptable loss on the college's side. I mean, say if someone died at the College of Worcester because of alcohol, how would that look on colleges? If we were trying to recruit new students, there would be a headline somewhere when someone typed in the College of Worcester that would just say, "Oh, student died here because of alcohol poisoning." I mean, it's more of the director of security said, we're trying to be like a preemptive approach rather than a reactive approach. So if we can stop things before they happen, we're in a much better place than if we let them happen.
And so basically, your speech towards stopping or preventing somebody being able to sue somebody?
My speech, I was asked if my speech was regarding suing people. My speech was primarily about safety on campus in regards to alcohol and where that leaves the image of the college and who is liable if something bad happens at the college and how we can prevent liabilities here.
You said that you don't think drinking will stop, so drinking doesn't stop. Do you really think we're planning to just keep really changing it? Do you just go through the same motions that always go to take it to the line?
My plan isn't to necessarily stop drinking here. I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
What do you think? I'm sorry. What I don't understand. What exactly changes? Because the changes to understand it, still, when the students still be in the same predicament as they were before, as far as deciding whether or not to take the ground to understand or not, because there's still repercussions that no person will go.
I mean, the thing about the repercussions I was asked if the repercussions were changing anything at the college. The current repercussions, basically what happens is if you get 3 strikes for alcohol, you get a judicial hearing, and that could be the end of you here at the college. My plan is a lot more lenient towards that. I mean, your first strike, you have to have a 30-minute meeting. I mean, I personally would rather be able to drop one of my friends off at the wellness center and enjoy the rest of my night and not really worried about them getting in any kind of trouble than having to babysit them all night long, not going to know if they're going to be okay. And as I said in my speech, if you babysit someone while they're sick from alcohol, you are liable for anything that happens to them. So say, when I was in my interview with Ben Harris, who was a first responder, he told me that one of the situations he saw when he was taking care of someone was they fell down 15 stairs, like just head over heels fell down the stairs, and say that person had died, his family might want to say sue the college. Someone they could also sue would be you because you were taking care of him and you were liable for everything that happened during that moment.
Okay, so like your changes increases the comfort level of students and be able to take the first ones.
It increases the question was if my policy increases the comfort level for students. It doesn't necessarily increase the comfort level. What it does is it reduces the risk to the school and the risk to the individual. Say if you, I've tried to explain this, I think, throughout my speech, but if you, I don't know, it's basically like a what-if scenario, like precautions for what-if scenario. Like, if this happens, this could happen to the school, and like, why would we want that to happen when it's so easy to prevent? Like, we could be sued, someone could die, we could prevent all these things by simple changes. Why don't we just do it? Yes.
I'm wondering if informing parents would be a good thing. At what strike level, I don't know, but some of you you're not really being penalized to your own money, you're being penalized to your parents' money. So big deal. Like, I don't know if you care enough about your parents' money. But if your parents got notified after your second offense, maybe that might be a deterrent for some.
I think I was just thinking about this. I was asked if informing parents of decision or like what's happening in the situation would have some like effect on like, the overall outcome. And as I was thinking about this in the split second I had, I was thinking about they could actually send a copy of the bill to your parents, like not even just send it to you only. They just send a copy to your parents and you get the bill. So your parents would first of all ask you what it's about because they get some random bill from the College of Worcester. And then, if you did it again, it would be a larger bill from the College of Worcester. And at some point, I feel like we could just explicitly say, like, this is what's happening on campus. Precautions might be taken against your son or daughter if this continues.
What about instead of penalizing people money, that you had to clean toilets and pick up beer bottles? Would that help?
Part of my plan was community service. So like it was on-campus community service, I think I forgot to mention that. So it's anything the college wants you to do on campus. And part of that is, I feel like I would have people do like clean toilets, pick up your bottles, especially cleaning toilets though, because it's more of like a humiliating thing more than anything else. And that's what really will teach people and tell them like, we shouldn't do this again. Like it doesn't have a standing on if you're gonna still be in the college or not, but it has like a social impact on them, and that's what really, I think, drives students, is like the social aspect here. So.
So you said that right now we have a system in place where you have to take a 2-hour online course, and I know that certain colleges maybe need it for someone to be break to your freshman year, so what in your plan being able to take this course?
I know when I came to College of Worcester, you're supposed to take like actually, I was asked what point you should take this course. I know when I first applied here, you had to take a brief, I don't know how to describe it. It was like, this is the effects of alcohol kind of class. It probably took 30 minutes in total. As I said in my speech, I have had like personal experience with this, and one of the things I had to do was do the online course, and it takes a lot longer than 30 minutes. It probably took me 3.5 hours. Like it's this just pages of random things that are pretty obvious to know the answer to, but you have to get like a certain score percentage on it, otherwise you have to do it again. So it's pretty bad.